Ready to go. We do the virus one first. Yeah, alright.
Wait, so am I just supposed to be back here?
What's up guys, Steven Duxer. So today I'm going to talk about Wuhan virus and the flu that's been currently going on in the US and in China. Wuhan virus has now infected about 1,000 people, or around 20 to 30 now dead. With the flu, about 13 million people already infected and 6,600 people has died from this massive flu being going on. Generally, when we have this large event, a lot of the stock will start to go in different ways and will cause something called hype that we have back in the years in 2016, 2017, 2018. Each year we have its own hype in different sectors. 2016, 2015, we had a hype on shipping companies. 2017, 2018, we had Bitcoin. And 2012 and 2013, I think we had all the biotech hype as well. So going forward into this year, we're probably going to see the same thing. Now, a lot of the hype are based on what was needed or what's the demand from the market. Think about it. So if we have flu, then we need vaccines. If we have viruses, we need healthcare products. So that basically will increase the demand of the stock that people want to invest into these type of certain sectors while the stock is being hyped up. Now there's two different results will come out from this insane hype, especially when we're looking at the ticker that increased about 1,000%, 2,000%. First, what we will see is the first ticker will start coming up as the leading sector ticker. Back in 2016, we had DRYS. Back in 2017 and 2018, we had BTCS. Those are the two leading tickers for Bitcoin and shipping sectors. So basically in this hype, we'll have one ticker that brings all the volume for this entire industry. The majority of the volume that was coming into this ticker will spread into all different tickers into the sector, and the volume will be all focused on this one ticker, especially when this company has really low flow. Since we have a large amount of demand, we'll increase this ticker about 1,000, 2,000% in a couple of days. So that we all know that company in NASDAQ or New York Exchange, when they have a really low cap and really low flow, often what we do, they will issue some type of offering or warrant in the next week or two to raise money for their project. So a lot of investors going in blindly that think the stock will go 3,000%, even 10,000% in a couple months, but that's the wrong thinking of trading all those type of low flow stocks. Since it's a hype that we all know, all those bigger companies out there like Tesla, Amazon, Apple, those companies takes years to grind into today. For a company to increase 2,000, 2,000% in a couple of days, there has to be some type of overreacting from buyers that buying massive amount of shares at the beginning and not thinking rationally to basically investing into the stock. And while the stock is spiking, a lot of people will tell their friends, tell their families, or spamming on the internet to basically pump the stock for let other people buy with them, and will attract more newbies to buy, invest in the stock market, or just to buy quick and sell quick. When the stock is surging into high price, it will be on the news and will attract more buyers. That's why when the stock goes to parabolic or consolidation or breakout, we'll attract decent amount of buyers into the stock that will cause the stock keep going up. So for the next couple minutes, I will show you the examples of all those hypes and how to really react from them, how to really take advantage from the newbie buyers to be able to short sell. Now, as a reminder, that shorting at the front side into the hype is very, very dangerous, as I said, because majority of the volume and demand are coming in, especially in the first 2 or 3 days. In reaction, as a short seller, you have to wait, be patient, at least for 5 to 6 days, because every single hype will create opportunities for the long side and the short side. Because it's a hype, on the short side, you will generally trap a lot of buyers into the spike, and you can manipulate it when the stock respike again to take advantage of the buyers from the people that already lost money into this hype. Now on the front side, since the demand is so high, you can really aim on a sympathy plays into the same sector. Let's say we have this ticker that already spiked about 2,000%, 2,000%. And when you jump in, you feel like you're late, you're chasing the stock. Now you can look for a different sympathy play, like the same amount of sector that does the same thing, has the same low flow. Buy into that. Since the stock didn't spike that far, when the stock gains a lot of volume, then you can make a lot of reward from the sympathy play. So I will show you a couple examples here, and let's get into it. So BTCS is one of the leading company of this sector that basically the stock went from 1 to 12 in a couple days. So basically what you need to find is the stock volume is increasing day by day, and the volume has to be larger than the previous day. So we call this as a multi-day runner. Multi-day runner generally that within a hype is tracking a lot of volume. Same thing goes into BTCS. You trade about 120 million volume at $12. So that's a lot of equity pouring into the market in one day. And when you're trying to take advantage as a short seller, do you see the spike at January 3rd? The stock is competing the resistance at $760. So when stock spiked there, see there's a large amount of resistances. People already got trapped into the stock. First thing is the stock went to 12 and stock down from 12 to 4. Now in this case, 90% people are long or are buyers, and when they're bought at 10, 12, and 8, and selling the stocks at 4, they will desperately hold in stock and hope for the stock to come back. Same thing, when the stock come back, they're looking to sell their positions. So that's how you really take advantage of the hype, especially when the volume is so large. It's pretty much impossible to break the resistance from that couple weeks ago or a month ago. The Bitcoin hyped up several times, and you can see that each spike always fail when it hits up to the resistance. Hit about 10, failed from the resistance, hit 6 again, fell from resistance. And in this case, the stock spiked again. Since the resistance is really far, so you can't really use them anymore, that's how the stock spiked it all the way to 18. And that's why you have to be careful as a short seller. Resistance has to be very fresh. It cannot be very old. If it's from a couple years ago, just ignore them. And that's pretty much for the Bitcoin hype. And ever since then, the stock been flat for a very, very long time. You can see the increase of the stock price is very, very low. Now, also, one other thing is to be able to take advantage in the front side. First, you have to know what is going on, especially into different sectors. Let's say Bitcoin's being hyped up and everybody's talking about Bitcoin. The first reaction you have to go look for is what are the leading companies that is trading in the Bitcoin sectors. Once you find those tickers, put them on your scanner. Once you put them on the scanner, you want to try to find which ticker is attracting more volume compared to other tickers. Now, only focus on the ticker that is getting the most volume. Once you find that ticker, start your starting positions and find a decent risk. That's how you really ride the train until the stock gets massive amount of volume and there's no more volume can be poured into the market. That's where you exit the stock. That's for BTCS. Now let's talk about the viruses and the flu. The first sector will be affected will be in the vaccine market. So when you are seeing something like NNBC and they're developing nano vaccines for their patient, that's how they're spiking right now. As you can see, NNBC has been up for days. Now, if you look at the 1 year chart, pretty much nothing has been going on. Just to start doing reverse split, trading less volume. Now, when this hype came in, it's tracking a lot of volume first. Secondly, it's a very low float, low cap. And what you're looking for is if the stock has the potential to spike 1,000, 2,000%, it has to be into that flow and market cap range. So in this case, typically when a stock tracking massive amount of volume, always be very careful with what you are shorting into. If you are shorting into something that has a high demand in the market right now, and people are freaking out because generally those viruses and flu will affect people's emotion. People are scared of being affected because they see an opportunity. People will make their emotional decisions. That's why everybody starts jumping into the one stock. And since it's a low flow for this is the first 2-3 days, that's why you can see the stock is start to spike. NVC spiked about 82%. Overall, I think we'll continue into next week. As you can see, it's already spiking after hours, about to break this resistance that formed today. Overall, I think NVC and AHPI, this is one of the sympathy play of NVC, and it's called healthcare products, and it's very obvious that there's a lot of demand on this since there's virus and flu being going on. So this is the first green day, as you can see. Now, when you are seeing nothing has been happening for the past year or two, and you are seeing a large surge of amount of volume happen in any time of the day, and it's tracking more volume compared to any days before. Now, when there's a hype coming in and you can see a large spike into the ticker, what you can do is, if you feel late, that stock already spiked about 300% like NVC, find something like HPI, then you can really take advantage of into the second day gap. And also you can use your knowledge on the pre-market volume estimate. If you watch in the Doxinator, you can predict the volume of the entire day, compete with the previous day to find out if today will actually gain more liquidity or not. Once you find out that question, then you have a really good odds to be able to predict the stock will even go higher and to be able to gain reward from that. The other sector I want to talk about is the best hype that I have never seen for a while. DRYS and GOBS. You can see, so other ticker I want to talk about is DRYS and GOBS. DRYS was already got delisted. It's pretty much a toxic financing, and they went to OTC and announced bankruptcy. DRYS is the one ticker that was a leading ticker that went from $4 to $120. This ticker is extremely dangerous. It only had about 300K flow. Now, once it spiked from 0 to 100 or 120, it bring every single shipping companies around that had a low flow, low cap. Every single ticker was spiking. So when NMVC gets out of control, find out all the related tickers, find out the low flow, low cap ones, monitor them if they're attracting volume. That's where you can gain advantage on the side of going along. So that is pretty much all the tickers that you can study and make sure to track their statistics. Once you can perfect that timing, then you can gain a massive amount of reward from just be trading all those hypes. In 1 year, I see people making millions of dollars just by trading the hypes. Since thousands of percentages are going into one day, and there's gotta be opportunity to be created because a lot of people are new into the market. So that's pretty much for the hypes today. And NMVC, AHPI, BTCS, and GOBS, all those tickers, you can really put it into your spreadsheets and to study them. So I would really highly recommend to track every single stats on those tickers back in when there's really start hyping up. So that's pretty much all the info for this video. So the flus and virus are everywhere now.
Don't get sick.
Okay, make sure to take care of yourself. Bro, you interrupted, bro. Make sure to take care of health and stay positive, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah, but that's not the shit I wanna say.